Just Prince TV. Let's get it started. Now, a lot of people want to know, how did the Mobb Deep and Tupac beef really popped off, how it started? Well, it's kind of a funny story because it started over very little small things. Now, when Tupac was locked up in Rikers Island, which was an island away from Queens. So when dudes get locked up in New York, they get sent to the island. So when you hear in rap songs, you be like, yo, I get sent to the island. We're talking about Rikers Island. And that's like a bridge away from Astoria, close to Astoria, Queens. So lots of people I know got locked up and went to that very same prison. Well, Tupac was in that same prison locked up too as well. And while he was in there, he was listening to Mobb Deep. He was a big fan of Mobb Deep. You know, he thought them dudes was nice. He was like, yo, I love them dudes right there, man. Them dudes is ill. And one of the guys that was associated with Mobb Deep, I know who he is because we all from the same neighborhood, but I'm not going to put his name on blast like that. So anyway, sorry, I got a little distracted by people in the street. But like I said, it was a guy that was locked up with Tupac. He was from the bridge, and he was telling Tupac, yo, the Mobb Deep boys, you rocking to and listen to their music, but they dissing you, son. They don't like you. You know? As a matter of fact, that song, I believe it was Survival of the Fittest. There was like, Doug Life, we still living it, or you still living it, stuff like that. That quote, Tupac believed that was about him. He believed Mobb Deep was dissing him. But in actual reality, we wasn't Mobb Deep or The Bridge. We wasn't really on Tupac like that. He actually was the least of our worries. You know, coming up in New York, man, everything was just East Coast bound. And you remember in that era, if you wasn't from the five boroughs of New York, we didn't really even fuck with you. If you was from Boston, North Carolina, rap was different back then. I mean, we wasn't even really talking about you or looking at you or putting you on our radar like that. So Tupac really, he didn't even really get no spins in the bridge like that. And when he started beefing and he had his outlaws diss to Mobb Deep, it was on, right? Now, not only are you beefing with Mobb Deep, you calling Mobb Deep out, who is the same connection with Nas. We all in the same hood. And you beefing with two of our biggest stars, all right? One of the best duos in hip-hop history, Mobb Deep. You beefing with them, and you beefing with the greatest lyricists to ever pick up a mic in Nas. So, The Bridge, we had a passion for not liking Tupac. You know, so when they had that infamous meeting in New York and they squashed their beef, Nas and Tupac, that would have been completely different if it was Mobb Deep. It would have been some heads getting smashed if that was Mobb Deep, because Mobb Deep was rolling too deep. You know, back then, before Capone formed Capone and Noriega, he was part of Mobb Deep. You had what you call it, Ty Nitty, Godfather Part 3, Littles. I mean, yo, the list goes on and on, man. You know, Big Twins. You know, some of you guys may not know who these people are, but they were part of Mobb Deep, infamous Mobb. Mobb Deep was deep. We didn't call them deep for no reason, you know. And he was like really on it, you know. Dudes had hammers, all types of weapons, you know. And if Tupac did the right thing by not pursuing that beef with Mobb Deep, because it wouldn't been a good look for him, you know. Thing that people don't understand about Queensbridge, man, we're deep. We're the biggest project in America, okay? 96 buildings big. And it's, man, it's a different lifestyle, man. So Pac is actually lucky that he didn't cross paths with Mobb Deep instead, because it would have been some shit. It would have been a mess, like Prodigy said. And Mobb Deep, they was just on it like that. Cats from the Bridge, how we get down, man. We rolling pack. I mean, it's like 40 or 60 of us. So he's lucky that didn't get out of hand, you know. But they dropped that song, Drop a Dime on him. LA. Mobb Deep was like the only dudes out of New York really responding to the West Coast and really giving West Coast the business. But nevertheless, that song, Drop a Dime on him, that song was supposed to be taken off after Tupac passed. But nevertheless, it made the album, and you already heard the song. That song was vicious, you know. So you only screaming my name, that's only giving me props. Plus the fans that you got wondering what got you hot. I know how it go down. So that that basically was it. That was the beginning of that beef. It was over Tupac being a hothead, a firecracker, and basically taking shit out of wax. Anything that any rapper said, Tupac would listen to their songs. Oh, he talking about me. He talking about me. That's how he was. He was a loose cannon. You know, he was a walking around magnet for beef. You know, but that beef would have been one of the beefs that he wouldn't have survived. That's all I got to say about that. I'm out. Just Prince TV.